1 minute.
Very good. Very good afternoon to all members, and welcome to this session of D Talks or Disruptive Literacy Talks. I'm your host, Mashood Bhatt. Uh, as we are moving towards the new paradigm where foundational literacy and numeracy has been given the major focus in the national education policy, and now we are seeing the state governments taking the lead in implementing the foundational literacy and numeracy missions. It becomes very important to look at in the past what are the different successes and learnings which have been achieved through the initiatives of foundational literacy and numeracy, and what challenges exist and how can we overcome them. And one state which has taken a lot of initiatives and a lot of transformation in primary education and specifically foundational skills is the state of Haryana. And to speak more about how this new mission of Nipun Bharat mission and how, as we go forward, uh, what can we learn from the past experiences of Haryana, and what are some of the successes and learnings which have been achieved in foundational literacy and numeracy in the state. We have a very special and eminent guest. He is the deputy director at the SCRT Haryana, and he's also been a very foremost expert in the subject of mathematics as well, and he is here to share his perspectives. So we'll be joined by Dr. Sunil Bajaj, who is also the head of the Department of Mathematics very soon. So we'll be having him on soon. Meanwhile, we like to share that the new Nipun Bharat mission, which talks about achieving proficiency in both reading as well as numeracy, has been launched recently by the Ministry of Education, and the work has been going on into this national in this mission for foundational literacy and numeracy for a very long time. So finally, we are very excited that this is being implemented. So here we would like to once again invite Dr. Sunil Bajaj, sir. Dr. Sunil, thank you so much for joining us on this session of Detox and giving your valuable time, sir.
Welcome.
Sir, the first question that we had was regarding Haryana's initiatives towards teacher training, and especially in the area of foundational literacy and numeracy. And we see Haryana has been a very proactive state in taking initiatives even before the national education policy talked about this mission for foundational literacy and numeracy. So, in your experience, what have been some of the major challenges in achieving foundational literacy and numeracy for all the children of the state? And would you like to share some initiatives which have been taken by the Education Department and SCRT to address these challenges?
So, in Haryana, in 2015, we have started working on this particular area. Means class 1 and 2. At that time, in 2015, we were not thinking about the ECCE, but we started working on class 1 and 2. And in 2015, we came up with new textbooks. That was the first initiative that we have intervened, and in that, the total new way how to deal mathematics. Earlier, as you are also familiar, that the traditional approach, that is 3x approach. Uh, just a minute, please.
I think so. There are some network connections. We are not able to hear you. Um, We will request sir to maybe reconnect once because seem to be some network issues as well. I think now sir is back. Yes, sir. Sorry, we lost your line, sir. Yes, please. Can you hear me, sir? Are you able to hear me, sir? Okay, so we'll wait for sir to reconnect, and
Sorry, I have got an urgent call from home ministry, so I have to leave for that. So I am now
I
continuing.
understand.
Please,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
am I audible?
Yes, sir. You're audible, sir. Please. Yes, sir. We can hear you, sir. Please. Uh, so, are you able to hear us?
Yes. No.
Yes, sir. Uh, Okay, sir. So, sir, yes, so we were asking that the you were talking about the different initiatives which the Haryana government has taken for the improvement in primary education and foundational literacy and numeracy, sir.
Right. So I told you that the first step which we took was the development of new textbooks of class 1 and 2. And in 1 and 2, just I want to give you one or two examples what are the changes I have made in that. Simple example that normally in classroom, the class 1 particularly, writing about the numbers, the writing number is the major focus, which is the first step that is done in the classroom in traditional approach. But what we have done there in textbook, we have given three chapters before the chapter of counting started. And those three chapters include all those things, means whether it is a we are talking one-to-one correspondence, means all pre-number concepts which were required before beginning the number concepts, we introduced that. And particularly in those numbers, not only one-one correspondence, not only sorting and sequencing, not only grouping, not only spatial understanding, by introducing number, normally can understand. Normally, the writing, particularly I'm coming to writing, they give for practice a stroke, horizontal line, vertical line, horizontal. The one symbol, one of in the first line, teacher write down one example, and the students have to that. What change we have made, what is now expected in new education policy, is we made the change that we given the same practice but by pattern, means one horizontal, one vertical, one horizontal, one vertical, one horizontal. After doing these three repetition, then the child has to now make the same strokes as the sample is given. Now in the initial previously what was happening, that they were doing a same thing, they were repeating the same thing, but there was no thinking involved. Now in this we started involving the thinking, means every time child has to think whether he has to now draw horizontal, then vertical, then again horizontal. So every time he has to think, and he has to think about the pattern. Same we continued in suppose writing 1 and 2, symbols of 1 and 2. So for those numerals, again we gave the same thing. The child in the border, if you got chance, you can see on our website or Diksha portal our textbooks, wonderfully written. So there I am saying that one, sorry, I've got to.
Yes,
So
sir.
1 2 1 2 1 2. So again the same pattern. So instead of writing 1 1 1 and repeating the same without thinking anything, so that mechanical work we have stopped, and then instead of that we introduced patterns. Also two dots, two dots. So this kind of intervention, and also the daily life with the whole book. Even our teacher in the first look, they said this is not mathematics book, this is EVS book, because of the contextualization. The whole book, there is nothing we can say about the mathematics. The whole book looked like that it is an EVS book, because a lot of pictures, scenes were there in which the child has to participate and work. So this was the first intervention which we have made in 2015 and 16. And after that, we tried to professionally develop all the teachers. And for that, in Haryana, we have 1400 cluster resource person. They are called ABRC. Uh, so those block resource persons, one in block and then further in clusters also. So one in mathematics, one in English, one in Hindi, they are at block level. Then further at each cluster, there is one more resource person who is continuously in touch with the teacher. So we organize training for the teachers about the textbooks. We also oriented our ABRCs. So those who further try to uh, uh, deal with the teachers and convey our message in a short groups with the teachers. So this is one intervention. Another for FLN, if we talk about, then there is what is not been taken care, the early childhood care and education. So there is no particular educational point of view, the steps taken for children in the children in the class before class 1. That means we can say pre-primary classes. So those classes were not dealt with the education department, they were dealt with the WCD, women and child development, the under Anganwadi. For the government schools I am talking about. In private schools there were nursery classes, but in government schools there were no, even only very limited, one or two or 10 to 15 schools were there where those children were admitted. In the nursery schools, even around 30 schools. But now in 2019 and 20, the government has announced before NEP that there will be 4,000 play schools where Anganwadi will be co-located in the school, primary school. And there they will be having smart classroom and lot of infrastructure, and as well as other academic inputs will be given. And that changes have started, and that initiated before NEP. The NEP was announced. Now after the NEP has been announced, the government of Haryana has done an MOU with some NGOs like Central Square Foundation, Learning LLF, that is Language Learning Foundation, and one more, and one Pratham. Pratham is an NGO who is looking after our ECCE part, with along with the WCD and SCERT, where one curriculum they have developed and has sent to the SCRT, and we are in continuous process of developing that curriculum for early childhood. So that particular step was taken for those 3 to 6 years, and then for foundational literacy and numeracy, class 1, 2, and 3, as NEP has now changed, and now it is now taken care of third class also. Earlier it was up to second class, now they are taking care of third class also. So 1, 2, 3, they will be intervened by the with the help of these two NGOs also. As far as SCRT is concerned, SCRT has started initiating this year. We have again oriented our block resource person, all 1500. I myself, for mathematics, uh, oriented all 1500 one by one. It took 1 month. Every day we talked with one district resource person, block resource persons. We have discussed with the approach, what is the approach required, because what FLN is talking about is not only that we have to look into the language. The communication means basic language, writing and reading. We are in mathematics not only for counting. We are now to focus 21st century skills, and one of those is communication, collaborative learning. One of them is problem solving skill, logical thinking, analytical thinking. So these all 21st century skills which are required, which are very essential now, as now Olympics in Japan, Tokyo is going on. I remember in the newspaper there was an article that the most of the work, like preparing the ground and many other tasks, were done by the robots, machines. So the normal man is not required anywhere. So there is a change which is very much required, that we need now the people who have some, which those who are some innovator with innovations, or some logical thinking or analytical thinking on higher order thinking skills. So that change is required, and that we started initiated this year. We initiated with the resource persons and teachers also. But again, I am telling you, we are not able to make change right now. There is a no big change in Haryana which I can say, but we are in the process. We are continuously targeting our teachers. We can say over 10 to 20%. There is a some teachers have started making change in themselves, but most of the teachers are still with the 3x approach, which I earlier mentioned. 3x approach is explain, example, exercise. The teacher explains, gives example, and then gives exercise. This is a traditional approach, procedural, simple procedural approach, algorithmic approach, which this programming model of learning is now, there is a totally discarded now, and we now focusing on constructivist model of learning. So that model right now is very much uh, been conveyed to the teachers, but teachers are not able to, are not comfortable with it. They have started thinking, they know, but not implementing. They are knowing these things but not implementing, because when it comes to the implementation, their traditional approach automatically comes in. So we are struggling, we are working hard to make teachers change. But now this year, earlier we have tried in many other ways. Now we are now focusing with a 3-year program, a long-term program, in which we will continuously deal with those teachers. We will make some planning to have all ABRC to have weekly or fortnightly meetings. So this is what we are going to plan. Like this, there are many other initiatives which are going on. WCD has also made, as I am telling you, that 4,000 play schools. So those play schools will be a role model, and later on other schools will be, other Anganwadi will be also merged in the schools, and they will be improved. Pratham, which I told you, the NGO has started working on for development of this ECC program, and they have trained master trainers, around 120 master trainers they have trained, out of which around 44 from diets in Haryana and 44 from their WCD department. They are supervisors or program officers. So both together will work and then develop the develop the capacity of all the Anganwadi workers. Also, the for ECC, the government of Haryana with the WCD department is in the process of undertaking some of the courses by IGNU. IGNU runs some courses for diploma courses for this early childhood. One is PG diploma, one is diploma. One diploma which is based on 12th standard, other is on graduation. So we are planning to initiate that our Anganwadi workers or some of the those who have graduation basic qualification as graduation. So those who are graduate, they will join the postgraduate diploma, and those uh, having plus two, they will join other courses. So this is again the new initiative which the government of Haryana is going to start. Like this, there are a lot of processes going on, but certainly the implementation part is now again taking pause. Many things are in pipeline, will be started soon.
Right, sir. Sir, that's a very a wonderful initiatives being taken by the department, and you've really covered like a very big landscape, starting from the
I'm
early
not
childhood
able to
education.
hear you.
Yes, are you able to hear
Voice
me
is
now? Can you hear me now, sir?
actually my phone call I received. Then my speaker is. I'm not
Right.
able to find how to.
Can you hear me now, sir? Okay. Can you hear me now, sir?
Uh, yes, I
अभी
can hear
अभी
you when I.
अभी आप सुन पा रहे हैं?
Yes, yes.
Would you like to try
I can hear you, but
reconnecting, sir? Once?
yes. Let me reconnect.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, sir. Please. Okay. Right. So we'll have Sunil ji reconnect. Some really important initiatives. What we see is that the department has also, even before the whole paradigm and of the national education policy, talking about foundational literacy and numeracy, the Department of Education in Haryana has been taking a lot of initiatives, as sir described. And from one very important aspect is also co-locating the preschools and anganwadis with the schools. So some very interesting initiatives being taken by the government. And you also talked about making this transforming the mathematics textbooks of because it traditionally it looks a very dry format, but then your department has also tried to make it very colorful, interactive as well, and move away from the three approaches, the three traditional approaches which are generally followed. Sir, the next question which we had was, there are these initiatives are very appreciable. How has the school closure due to the pandemic? How is the process of reaching out to this the block resource persons, the teachers, and students? How is the process currently being undertaken with respect to this new curriculum and new pedagogies which the department is wanting all teachers to have full capacity on?
Uh, this in pandemic has is become a boon also. Many things now through online. Many teachers are taking classes. Live classes are going on. through our EduSet program. Uh, Also, the telecast has been done, and that YouTube on the content loaded on YouTube as well as on Diksha portal. So Diksha portal, and we have an Avsar app which has been used by all the students as well as teachers. Diksha app as well as Avsar, both apps are being used, and teachers are and students are responding. Even in this week, we have considered first cycle. Now the fourth cycle, uh, so that is assessment has been going on. After 2 months, we have taken one assessment test, and that is uh, based on the 2 3 chapters which have been decided by the CRT, and on basis of those chapters, there is an assessment which is going on online only. So assessments are going online, teaching is going online, right? There is a digital divide, and that because of that, 50% students have don't have the smartphone. So for them, the normal
I think we've lost the connection again. So we so was talking about how.
invite all these interventions. There is no phone, no smartphone. In some parts, we tried some Ishta Mitra. There are some volunteers, those who have been ready of those, or have neighbors of those children, or have been some other person, those who have shown interest to adopt one child and provide them mobile phone, and then they can attend the classes. So this is one way. And even some of the teachers, no, I am telling you, some of the teachers even visited the schools or the places where 2 3 children, 4 children are residing. They try to contact, they try to see their homework copies and have dealt with those physically also wherever it was possible by taking the same preventions of the COVID-19. So all these steps in online also, I am telling you that online feedback, online classroom attendance, everything is going on.
Hmm. Right, sir. That's wonderful to know that things are going on like this. And yeah, in terms of the continuity of education is happening. With regards to online teacher training, you said that this is also like an opportunity also because everything's happening online. So we are seeing a lot of online teacher capacity building programs also. Uh, for the future, sir, what do you how do you see online teacher training? Do you think that it is something which is there to continue in the long run? And what are some successes and some improvements that need to be made with respect to online teacher
No,
capacity building?
speaker.
Uh, are you able to hear me, sir? So, would you like to try maybe switching off your camera? Maybe that might increase the sound.
Uh, yes, please speak now.
Yes, sir. So, okay, you can hear me?
Hello. Once again, I will leave and
Yes,
then
sir.
join again.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me? Okay, so network issues here. Um, so some initiatives which sir was talking about, it is quite interesting with respect to the EduSat and the live broadcasting. We are seeing in Haryana a lot of teachers have who have started their own YouTube channels and they are making lectures online. And there's a lot of integration of the digital platforms like Diksha and Saksham, which have really helped in kind of making a lot of children adopt digital learning as well, where we are also seeing that those who don't have access to digital devices, they are also through the in the community, through community classes, or someone in the community is helping them get access to the same. And Sir was also talking about the concept of having ABRCs who are in the clusters, who are leading the clusters, and then through this model of teacher training of trainers, the new methods of teaching, the new pedagogies of teaching are being reached out to, are being translated and being reached out to the all the teachers of Haryana as well. Right. Right. So I think there is we are very we apologize for the issues with the disruption that's happening in the session. There seem to be some network issues. We'll try one last time to maybe see if we can connect with Sir. I think he's tried joining back. Sir, are you able to hear me now? So are you able to hear me? Hmm. Sir, आप सुन पा रहे हैं हमें? Can you hear me?
Yes, I am audible.
Yes, sir. You are audible. Can you hear me?
Again, your voice is not coming.
Okay. Okay. So, so I think at this point we'll try to bring again Sir in another session of Detox, and we again would like to thank all of you for joining us, and we'll try that Sir is maybe one last time we can try if Sir can join back. Yes, sir. Are you able to hear me now?
No, no, sure, sure. Sorry. Actually, when the call comes, even I have not attended, but even then the voice, I was not able to listen to you.
Okay,
Now it's
okay,
okay.
sir. No issues. Yeah, now it's okay. Okay, great. Glad to know that, sir. So, sir, we were talking about the one question you mentioned about online teacher capacity building initiatives are being taken. A lot of different platforms are being used, and you mentioned that it's an opportunity also now because more teachers are adopting digital. Do you see an online teacher capacity building? Is it here to stay in the long run also? And what are some advantages and some gaps or some improvements that still need to be made in online teacher capacity building platforms and initiatives?
Uh, Online teacher capacity building has uh, many points which we can say positive points, and some are very negative points. Both are positive points. There is no budget requirement. That is a very many times you have to plan. We have to plan for the space, plan for many things. But now at least that official or systematic requirements that we don't need and any time, and the people are comfortable and any from sitting anywhere they can join those programs. But simultaneously, if we see sometimes when they are attending the program, they are not having concentration because interaction, it's a very face to face what we can interact, how we can take give them some hands on practice. Those things, this get diluted. So to, and sometimes the those are having other sometimes at the same time they're having some other phone call or some official work, so switch on the my video and audio, and then they are doing simultaneously some other works also. So this way sometimes there is a loss also, but those are having, at least those who are interested and keen to do something have come, at least there is no communication loss, and also we can't say, because when we cascade model, when we use cascade model, so then also there is a sometimes prepare master trainers, and those master trainer in turn their train the teachers. So there is a lot of loss in that, because we are not able to find out those good master trainers for same number of teachers. So at least there is no gap in that, and we can immediately, at least those things where we need only the information, the knowledge, so those things can easily reach to the teachers directly within very means immediately we can contact the teachers, and then they can inform marking attendance, taking Google Meet classes, taking Google Room classroom classes, where there is no interaction or much things are required. They're just, and information has been given how to introduce through Google Classroom, how to use Google Meet, how to do something. So which where only the knowledge or these things are required. That is again a very useful tool for online classes. But uh, there are now, as last time we have organized a 10 days Google Classroom. The training program was conducted using Google Classroom, and each time we were able to know how much time they are spending, how much time they were. So there was continuous watch on them, and that was a wonderful experience where teacher also appreciated our efforts, and the 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 organizers, even our team was also very happy to convey all those. That was the program for e-learning, how to conduct e-learning, and what are the apps, what are the new things like GeoGebra, like Google Classroom, like many other initiatives, how to edit the video like this. There were many things that were being dealt with that time, and the teachers were also happy. They were doing some practice, and we were able to know how much time was spent by a particular teacher on particular project or activity. So everything was known to us. So we are improving by the time, and but overall, what we can say is the face to face, if we are having the teachers training in the face to face mode, there is no alternative to that. But there is no other option now, right now, for the as the pandemic is going on. So there is no other option, and we have to use this, and that, but I already told you, there are many plus point and minus points also. But right now we are working with it, and we are trying it, using it as Nishtha program. If you have heard about Nishtha program, Haryana, in class 1 to 8, all elementary teachers were given training. Out of 65,000 teachers, 64,000 have attended those training program and completed the courses. So more than 90% teachers completed the course. So that was online as well as offline. 1 year we have done the Nishtha course offline, and last year we have completed online. And now this year we are working with the Nishtha program with secondary teachers also. So 40,000, around 40,000 teachers, and they have started registering from 1st of August. The course has started, and we are working on it. But now recently it has been announced by the Ministry of Education that the same Nishtha for uh,
Are you able to hear me, sir?
means for foundation literacy and numeracy for all Anganwadi workers as well as for school teachers of class 1 and 2 will be launched in the month of August. So that will also go simultaneously. So in this Nishtha program for FLN, uh, all Anganwadi teachers mandatory will attend this program, and all primary school teacher teaching class 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will also attend. So we are going to organize as soon as it will be launched by the CERT. We will have this program, and we will again launch in Haryana also.
Right, sir. So
These
thank
are
you for
the
sharing.
program which will soon will be all the teachers will be trained through Nishtha FLN program.
Right, sir. So thank you for sharing this these initiatives. One final question which I had from my end was regarding like there is a conversation around, like in the near future we will see maybe schools partially reopening, some children, children coming in phase manner, and a mixture of, hybrid teaching learning as they are saying. So sir, what is the
Blended mode.
approach of SCRT and the teachers with regard to this situation where there might be phased reopening and a mixture of hybrid? Do you feel our teachers are prepared for such a situation, and how can they can prepare in the coming time?
You must, I think, uh, in Haryana, we have opened our schools from 16th of July for class 9 to 12th, and from 23rd July 6 to 8th also started. And now the government is likely to announce next week for primary also. So the schools have reopened. Around 50 to 60% students are coming to the classes, and the blended mode is going on. Face to face they are teaching, and online classes again through EduSet, through Geo TV channel, and through cable network. Those uh, telecast is also going on simultaneously, and also teachers are sending their videos by uploading them, and YouTube links have been shared. So that process is also continuing, and the classroom also is going on. Right now, yesterday I was reading that one oximeter has reached, oximeter according to strength for all the students have reached in every school of. Also the funds have been sent to the schools for other sanitation and other sanitizers and other. So whatever the funds are given, they have been given a certain amount to meet those requirements.
Hmm.
So that
Right,
is
sir.
going on. So that's why blended mode is going on right now in 6 to 12th, similarly for primary. Yesterday I was reading the government should go for mentioned at the schools, we should let the school children to come to the school. So our government has, our education minister is also announced that primary schools will be opened soon. So the teachers are ready and likely to work with the students. They are prepared.
Right, sir. Uh, so thank you for sharing that initiative. I think towards the end we would also invite Dr. Sunita Gandhi for her questions and her perspectives as well. Dr. Gandhi.
Yes, I'm listening very intently to Dr. Sunil Bajaj. Sir, you have 18 years of teaching experience of mathematics. You are a substantive person doing a lot of great things, innovative labs, development, ELM, your maths lab concepts, your maths kit concepts, your teacher training modules for primary classes. I mean, working with the IIT Delhi as well. So we can see that you've been, and with textbooks, so many things you've been doing, which are very remarkable. And what Haryana seems to be doing is a little bit ahead of the game. I think the United Nations is now saying that schools should be the first to open and the last to close when there's a COVID situation. We see everything open but schools, and so it's good to see that Haryana has in fact taken that initiative very early on and boldly faced the crises. Because there's a crisis of COVID and there's a crisis of education. And I think we have to balance between the two. And since the danger is a lot less right now, we don't know because situation is very dynamic and may change another time soon. But certainly this idea of opening schools as quickly as possible after a COVID situation ebbs and being the last to close is not a bad idea. I think that there is the issue of the missing children in Haryana. It was the first to report because you were the first to get the schools opened. And 50% of the children are coming, and then there, I believe, some, is it 8 lakh or 12 lakh? You can correct me, number of children who have not been found. They're not enrolled. And it's been a wild goose chase trying to get them to enroll. I'd love to have your views on that and what you are or the government is doing regarding bringing in those children who are lost. Because that's one of the fears of the COVID, that many, many years of gain will go backwards in terms of enrollment, in terms of bringing children to the school.
Uh, First of all, the latest data, which was every day, because they are updating every day by day, the admission, because I told you that there is an Afsar app through which all teachers, all schools are updating their data for admission in schools. And I am happy to announce that we have more than 2 lakh students. Earlier it was, last year there was 23 lakh students, around 23 lakh 50,000 students were there. But this year now, more than 24 lakh 50,000, that is more than 1 to 2 lakh have been admitted in the government school of Haryana. So there is no miscalculation. Don't know what is happening, but the government has initiated managing to access this Abhiyan, and there are volunteers who are working on the data returns also find out how to
So I think
that
so
they
your
are working
voice
on that
is breaking
simultaneously. But
again.
for the government schools, as I am telling you, that there is not the number of students has increased instead of decreased.
Right, sir. The only thing is that I think a little bit of maybe the private schools, the budget private schools, their children are now joining the school. So you're seeing a surge. But to have one-to-one correlation with who were there in the government schools before, we read some report early on that there were some 8 lakh children who had not joined from that initial lot. So that could be just a thought. I don't know for sure. And if so, then what can be done about it? And if it's all going well, then congratulations to you, sir, because actually one of the challenges that all the states will face will be the challenge of bringing all the children back to the fold in the schools. There's also, you mentioned Nishtha, and all the training that is going on with Nishtha. We typically have found that even after training, that the teachers don't reform their practice. What has been your experience? Are they really learning from these courses like Nishtha FLN program? Are they learning from it, and are they then applying that to the learning by the children? And are they running vastly different schools? Because actually, till very recently, the data has been, at least before the COVID, that some 50% of the children throughout India cannot read at the foundational level in grade 5. So unless things are dramatically different, will Nishta do the trick, or will it take a lot more than that to get the teachers to act differently, so that children are actually learning, and more children are learning, and by far more children are learning.
Okay, the first phase of Nishta, which is physical mode, in face-to-face board that was conducted in 2019. Then you can't make a person change in 5 days. There needs to be a continuous professional development of all the teachers. Like in Japan, I was looking at that, in many other countries also, that there is a weekly or fortnightly meeting of a group of teachers who are talking about their innovative or good practices and sharing good practices. And all the teachers, they share, even the share during one teacher, their classroom practice. Other teachers are sitting in the same classroom, and one teacher is dealing with the students in front of all the teachers. So that was weekly program, and during that classroom, they just see, and then later on the students go back to the home, and but the teachers sit there and discuss with each other what were the good steps taken by the teacher and what are the steps where there is an improvement. So that is a weekly they are talking about these things. So similarly, when even if we have conducted Nishtha for 5 days in the face-to-face manner, and last year online mode, we have conducted many courses, 18 courses through online mode. The teachers have done those courses. But that is again, I am saying that reading or listening to something is a different thing. Implementing is a very different and difficult task. So it will not change in by these only Nishtha programs. We have to continuously work with them, as we have planned now for the next 3 years, that through one-to-one teacher means again sharing good practices in front of the block resource person or block resource coordinator. As I already informed that there are 1400. We have 22 districts. In 22 districts, there are 120 blocks, and in each block there are 120 block resource person for each subject: Hindi, English, Math, Science, and simultaneously for others also. And also then further 1450 block resource center, that is clusters, we can say. They are clusters which are now school complexes, even we can say. So those clusters, there are people who are working, but nowadays they are working with many of the intervention which is made by the Saksham Haryana, uh, through Afsar app. So many things, many initiatives have been taken by that also. So we when we have the capacity building of those APRCs again time to time, and those old APRCs further will talk to the teachers continuously, weekly even nightly. And when this process will take 1, 2, or 3 years, not only for one go, it will take years when the change will come.
Yes, sir, that is correct. Obviously, looking at the past, the question always is, are we succeeding to meet the FLN goals in a more dramatic way? Is there a more disruptive kind of outcome? But if it's going to go the way it has gone in the past, maybe a little better, then we are going to take many, many years to circumvent the problem. And we see effect sizes which are significant, but then what we need is multiples of those effect sizes um, to really make traction. We've been experimenting at our end with an FLN toolkit, which is basically a very fast way of making people literate, because
Your
obviously
voice
something
is
has to be disrupted.
breaking again and again.
आपने देखी है ना सर जी? तो उनसे क्या है
He's
30
saying that
आवर्स
the
में.
voice is breaking. He's unable to
अच्छा.
hear us.
ओके. ओके. So anyway, for the audience also, that it is able to make people literate in a very short span of time. We are saying 30 hours, and that is really, even if 30 was 60 hours, it's a lot faster than 3 years and 5 years. And I think that can really dramatically change the fortunes of FLN in a city or a state or a country. So I'm just curious as to what other disruptions can be made that can. So Nishta, of course, teachers training, that's a disruption for sure. But as you said, that this is not going to change teacher behavior so readily and so quickly. It takes time to change teacher behavior. But one way to change teacher behavior would be to change the equation from under the teacher. That is, the books that they teach with, or the toolkits or the primers that they use to teach, are vastly different. So they're kind of having to confront that new way of teaching. And I really like the idea of what you've shared here today, that the teachers are meeting once a week and sharing they're discussing and sharing their successes with the children, and what worked and what didn't work. International research is very, very conclusive on that this actually seems to work very, very well. So I think that that's good. Just wanted to share with you also this toolkit that I mentioned to you. And I do have one more question as we come to the closing of this detox, and that is, what are the challenges and what are the opportunities that are lying ahead of you? You've done a lot of great things, and now what next? That would be a really interesting, question for me, for you, please, sir.
Uh, Actually, what I told you that first of all, we are now going to focus on preparing our district resource group and block resource group and then cluster resource group. That will be systematically will be there. They will be oriented. They will be professionally developed. So through systematic approach, we will first as the state resource group, district resource group, block resource group, and the cluster. First of all, we will strengthen these people, not only infrastructure but also by building their capacity also. So that is one way, and these are the major challenges. And to find out the people who have the capacity to make change further, so the team selection is going on. We have started making selection, started selecting the district team, block team, those who will certainly work for only FLN, and they will work for 3 years continuously on this. And the government is also announcing one particular, as the Minister has also announced, there will be a mission for FLN, mission mode. So there is a particular systematic change also going to occur in the state academic also. So that there is a state level steering committee that will look into it. Systematic, through structured way, the system will, the teams will be formed, the program management unit will be formed, and then further the teachers. Right now, this is a challenge. The teachers are not having, not being comfortable with those learning books. They are not accepting those textbooks as mathematics books. This is a challenge which we have seen in the last 2 3 years. But now we come up with new ways, and then again targeting those resource person, that is block and cluster resource person. So we started interacting with those in the last 5 to 6, 4 to 5 months, and after we will go with the teachers. So we think we will then we will continuously, as I already announced, that weekly or fortnightly the meetings will happen, and then continuously we will be with all those. Discussion will continue with all those, and there will be no gap. We will continuously in touch with the state with the district, district with the block, and block with the cluster, and cluster with the school. So that continuity we will make for the last next 2 3 years. Then I think it will be. So that there is a administratively also there are challenges where sometimes as administrators they are hesitant at the come of new ideas to make changes in the other going on schemes. So there are some challenges when administrators make some different changes. Otherwise, with same work going on continuously for the next 3 years, which we have planned and has been approved by government, then I think we will work well, and we will make changes in Haryana in the next 3 years. Actually our chief minister is very much interested, and he announced that the NEP goals will be achieved not in 2030, it will be achieved by 2025. So on 30th July this week, the meeting was conducted by the chief minister, education minister, and all those have been once again announced, and the education secretaries and other WCD principal secretary has also announced the same thing, what they are going to do in the next 1 year. So the things are in process. So we are thinking that now it is working in its after NEP, after implementation of NEP, the government has initiated certain steps. Those will make change, and we are hopeful that now we will work in a structured manner, in a pre-planned manner, and in a long-term manner, and then we will succeed. That's what.
Right, sir. So thank you so much for sharing this, and I think from our audience also we are getting like some good wishes for the initiatives of the government of Haryana. Like Manoj Verma is saying that the pattern teaching is very helpful for the beginners, and the government is doing a marvelous job to train the teachers in the new pattern, and the 4,000 Anganwadis also with smart classrooms. So a lot of appreciation for that. Sumita Bhatt also is sharing about the good work that is being done in Haryana, and so is Rachna Sinha, who's also eagerly awaiting the Nishtha program, which is going to come in. So, with this, we would like to once again thank Dr. Sunil Bajaj ji, who's the Deputy Director at SCRD Haryana, for sharing in great detail the initiatives being taken. It's training of teachers, of course, is one focus, but it is also about changing the approach, the mindset towards how we conduct foundational literacy and numeracy as well, which is like Sir said, that it will not just happen in 5 days, but it will need a concerted approach, and Haryana seems to be on the right path there. So thank you once again, and to Dr. Sunil Bajaji, thank you also to Dr. Gandhi for joining us with her questions and thoughts, and to all the audience members who's joined us, thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next session of Detox. Thank you.